It's pretty easy for any WNBA team to find superstar talent at the top of the lottery, but the elite front offices separate themselves with how they capitalize on finding gems in the second and third round. Today I'll be going through my ranking of the top 15 WNBA draft steals in league history. For reference, this does not include any first round picks, undrafted players, and players drafted from the ABA in the late 90s. Anyways, let's get into the list. Starting it off with 15 through 11, at 15 I have Yukari Figs, at 14 I have Erin Phillips, at 13 I have Marina Mabrey, at 12 Leilani Mitchell, and at 11 Gia Perkins. Perkins, I want to spotlight here for a second. Perkins is the lowest drafted player on this list, being selected by Charlotte at number 34 in 2004. She was an All-American, the best player on the number 1 team in the country, and a projected first round pick before she had to leave basketball in the middle of her senior season due to her pregnancy. Perkins fell to the third round, but didn't know she'd get drafted at all. She had a successful career making one All-Star team, an All-Defensive team, and winning a championship with the Lynx in her final WNBA season. Perkins also ranks 24th all-time in career three-pointers made, so a very good third-round value there. At 10, we have Camille Little, who was a 17th overall pick in 2007 out of North Carolina. In her career, she averaged over 8 points, over 4 rebounds on efficient shooting as a very solid role player. She was the 5th starter alongside Lauren Jackson, Sue Bird, Swin Cash, and Tanisha Wright during Seattle's 2010 title run. Tammy Sutton Brown was the number 18 pick in 2001 out of Rutgers. In her career, she averaged 9 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 2.2 stocks per game on 48% shooting from the field. In her career, she made 2 All-Star teams and was a one-time champion as a reserve for Indiana in 2012. She was a quality starting center for a decade, finishing her career number 8 all-time in blocks and number 8 all-time in career playoff blocks. She also averaged 15 points in a 2009 final series loss to Phoenix. Shout out Rutgers. Benijah Hamilton, the second Rutgers player on this list, was selected number 17 overall in 2015. In her career so far, she's averaged over 9 points, over 2 assists, and over 3 rebounds on 42% shooting from the field and almost 35% shooting from 3. She has been a one-time All-Star, 2-time All-Defensive player, and a one-time Most Improved Player winner. Lainey Hamilton is an elite wing driver and defender, with spurts as a terrific shot creator, notably in 2020 and 2021. At 7, we have Natasha Cloud, who was number 15 pick in 2015 out of St. Joe's. She was selected by Washington. Stay tuned for Washington. Very good talent evaluation organization. In her career so far, she's averaged over 8 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds on 38% shooting from the field. The 2015 second round is elite, as you see with Benijah Hamilton, also Natasha Cloud. But for Cloud, she is one of the best guard defenders in the modern era, making multiple all-defensive teams with more to come. Tamika Dixon was a number 14 pick in 1997 out of Kansas. In her career, she averaged 9.7 points and 2.7 assists, 2.9 rebounds as well, on 42.4% shooting from the field. She was an extremely good find by Los Angeles in the second round of the inaugural 1997 draft. She was a 3-time All-Star, 1-time All-W player, and started for the back-to-back champions alongside Lisa Leslie and co. in 2001 and 2002. Next, we have Changela Smith, the number 12 pick in 1998 out of Iowa. Nowadays, the number 12 pick is a first-round pick, but then there was only 11 teams, so this was a second-round pick. Smith was a unique player for her time. She was one of the best shot blockers in her early years, to becoming a 6'3" stretch big in her 30s for the title-winning Mercury, shooting 34% from 3 over her entire career. In fact, she shot 45% from 3 on 2.7 attempts in 2009 alone. Tiffany Hayes was the number 14 pick in 2012 out of UConn. She was selected by Atlanta, playing in Atlanta for almost her entire career before playing one final season in Connecticut last year before retiring now. But in her career, she averaged 13.6 points, 2.4 assists, 3.3 rebounds on 43.5% shooting from the field. She was an elite cutter, defensive wing, shot creator in the mid-range. Hayes never won a championship, but was incredibly successful. She was a one-time All-Star, one-time All-W player, and one-time All-Defensive player. Now, into the top 3 on my list, we have Allie Quigley, the number 22 pick in 2008 out of DePaul. Quigley is one of the best sharpshooters, but one of the best shooting specialists this league has ever seen. In her career, she averaged 10.9 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds on 45% shooting from the field, and 39% shooting from 3. She is one of the best shooters ever. She's number 22 all-time in regular season three-pointers made, and number 14 all-time in career playoff three-pointers made. She was a 3-time All-Star, 2-time Sixth Woman of the Year, and a one-time champion with the Sky in 2021. At 2, we have Alicia Clark, the number 17 pick in 2010 out of Middle Tennessee State. She was selected by Seattle. In her career, she averaged 7 points, 1.4 assists, 3.5 rebounds on 49% shooting from the field, and 38% shooting from 3. Clark is, in my opinion, the perfect role player. She is extremely scalable. She can hit spot-up corner threes at an elite rate. She makes quick decisions and does the dirty work on defense. She really transformed her game from a player that had really one of the highest usage in college basketball, like led the country in scoring for many years. So she transformed her game from being that type of player to an elite role player and one of the best role players this league has ever seen. She is someone I would consider a 12-team player because she fits in almost any team context. And finally, at 1, we have Emma Miesemann, the number 19 pick in 2013 out of Belgium. In fact, she is the only international player on this list. She was selected by Washington in 2013 and came into a perfect developmental structure under Mike Thibault in Washington. Prior to being drafted, she never made a 3 in her 162 professional games. She was just a non-shooter. But since then, she has become one of the best stretch bigs in the world and made 37% of her threes in her W career. Miesemann is the only Finals MVP selected outside of the first round in WNBA history. She's also a 2-time All-Star and won a championship with Chicago in 2021. So it only made sense to have her at the top of this list. Overall, like I mentioned in the intro, there's an extremely high success rate on draft picks at number 1. There's only a couple number 1 picks that really flamed out. So overall, if you're drafting at 1, you're usually getting an all-star caliber player or a generational talent, whether that's Breanna Stewart, A'ja Wilson, or whether you're getting someone like Lauren Jackson. There's been players throughout the W's history that are high-level players that went number 1, but it's hard to find players in the 2nd and 3rd round. Most 2nd and 3rd round picks will not even play a game on your team. Even this year, there were so many 2nd round picks and 3rd round picks that just got cut. But even because someone got cut on their first training camp, that doesn't mean their career is over. Even some of these players on this list, in fact, like Allie Quigley, were not great players their first couple years, changed teams, were cut, were traded, whatever, and were able to have a long, successful 10-plus year career. So overall, let me know what you think about this video in the comments below. Who did I miss? Who would you add? And just let me know what you think and what other videos you'd like to see from me in the future. I've made videos on future draft prospects. I've also made videos on like this, on past players and retired players. So I feel like to understand the future, you have to have an idea of the past and players we've seen come into the W. Anyways, subscribe for more WNBA content. I'll see y'all next time.